Hello and welcome to another escapade of the Craft Ninja. Today I will be doing my art journal adventures and I'm going to explore texture. Alright, first we're going to take our paper and we're going to gesso it. Make sure to mix it well. Mine is kind of old, so I had to mix it a lot. I used a catalyst tool to spread a thin layer over the entire page. There should be a link in the profile. I used the silicone wedge number 6. Try not to waste too much product and place the leftovers back in the jar. Dry the page with a heat tool. I'm using Ranger's heat tool. There should be a link in the description below. Now I'm adding some washi tape to the side. I'm using Jane Davenport's palette, the thickest one. I'm going to be binding the book together, so I don't know exactly what binding method I want to use. So this allows me to have a margin and not mess up my artwork as I add it into a bound book. I should have a link in the profile for that washi tape as well. Use a Teflon bone folder to burnish the washi tape down. You want to make sure that the washi tape is really stuck down. I really like this Teflon bone folder because it just slides over it and doesn't get stuck or anything like that. It's really great for burnishing and for folding things as well. Trim off the edges of the washi tape ever so carefully. And now we're going to mask off the washi tape. I'm using some masking tape. Use masking tape, anything low tack. I'm actually using drafting tissue tape and a piece of paper. Post-it note tape works as well, so whatever you guys have in your stash, feel free to use that. Whatever works, I just don't want it to get too messed up. Now we're going to stamp the face. I am using Jane Davenport's 13-piece face stamp set. I really like it because you can put together quite a few different faces. There are opened eyes, closed eyes, and things like that, so it makes a really great face stamp set if you want to invest in that. Use an acrylic block. Having one with grid lines isn't necessary, but I really like it, especially for lining up faces. Center up the face on it so you can line up the eyes and things like that. I wanted to try to stamp everything in one fell swoop, but I made the mistake that does not work. Because the background of the face actually has a little thickness, and if you stick the eye stamp or the nose stamp on it, the eyes will stick out before the face. So my mistake, learn from my mistakes, don't do what I did. Instead, first you need to stamp the outline of the face, and then the other facial features that you're going to be adding later, you need to add those in a second, third step. To do my stamping on my project, I'm using Sizzix's secret, secret weapon. Sizzix Stamper's secret weapon to get the best image. It's a little squishy surface, so like a high density foam or something like that would also be good. Now I'm heat setting it. I'm heat setting the StazOn ink in jet black. Next, I'm going to stamp the eyes using the grid lines to align on the acrylic block as well as aligning on the paper when stamping. I aligned the eyes with the eyebrows on the stamp, and then I used a tiny small Lawn Fawn acrylic block to stamp the nose. Clean off your stamps with a baby wipe and heat set. Alright, now I'm adding texture paste with a palette knife. Put some texture paste on your paper in a windblown sort of hair shape. I'm using Liquitex modeling paste. Then use a comb or other thing to provide some texture. I'm using a Catalyst Tool Contour Series 20C24. Then use a heat tool to set the surface of the modeling paste. I just didn't want it to get messed up. It won't be totally dry, but having the surface set will actually be good. Now I'm creating a mask for the face because I will be using some spray inks and I don't want to get too much ink on the face. But as you'll see later, as my intention was not to get ink on the face, I did. But in the end, I think you'll agree that it turned out really well. I used 2 pieces of Post-it tape to create the mask. Now find some spray inks that you like that go well together. I used Polished Jade, Vibrant Turquoise, After Midnight, and Pomegranate Seed from the Dylusions line, as well as Mr. Huey's Piglet. I thought these colors went well together, but you can use whatever colors you would like. Heat set that so it's not so wet anymore. Next, I'm going to be using some clear tar gel. I wanted some wispy tendrils of iridescent hair blowing around. So I mixed the tar gel with some Artist's Loft iridescent medium, as well as some golden polymer gel, just polymer medium, so it would drizzle well across the paper. I used a plastic container that's left over from Starbucks's fruit and cheese bistro box. It was the thing that held the cranberries and almonds. I just try to save them and use them for things like this. To get the consistency I wanted, I just test with the palette knife. As you can see, I added some of the polymer medium so it would drizzle well. And drizzle, drizzle, drizzle to your heart's content. Let it drip and... Alright, after heat setting the tar gel, I am spraying the dried spray ink with some, misting it with a fine spray bottle. I should put the link in the description below. It's just a generic bottle that I got off of Amazon. I'm also going to use a Pentel water brush just to add some water droplets on the artwork, just to kind of give it a more of a splotched, speckled, mottled look, to break up the color a little bit. And do this until you until you get the look that you are going for. Just spray the ink, drip and drop the water where you want it to. The water brush actually gives you a little bit more control than the water bottle, because you can halfway press down on a water bottle to get drips and drops and whatnot. I already had some white paint and some gold paint in a fine liner bottle. So I wasn't so happy with how the top of the head turned out, so I decided a bandana of sorts would work. So I created a paper template first, and then I cut out the final bandana from some awesome cosmic mylar bag that I got from Daiso, which has great cute things. I'll have to do a Daiso haul at some point. Let me know in the comments below if you'd like to see that. I used some fine tip scissors to get a really good cut. I used Martha Stewart spring-loaded scissors, link in the description below. I'm using some Aleene's Turbo Tacky glue because the mylar is super slippery and I don't want it slipping off or anything like that, to stick down the mylar bandana. Now, as you can see, I did get the spray ink on the face. And my mask didn't work the way I wanted it to. I'm just trimming off the edge of the bandana with a pen knife. I tried to remedy the harsh line of the blue ink with Jane Davenport's paint over pen in the color Beach. So coloring over the skin area reactivated some of that blue ink, and I was able to kind of draw it over and create a face that had some blue, well, definite blue undertones. Now I thought I needed a little bit more sparkle. Those little gold tendrils weren't quite doing it for me, so I grabbed some Viva Crystal Gel in hologram. I think in the States it's called iridescent glitter. But first I wanted to seal the spray ink with some matte medium, just to seal things up a bit so the gel wouldn't reactivate it and kind of tint it. I just wanted that pure clear gel with the hologram suspended, the hologram mylar bits suspended in it. I had some matte medium in one of those resealable plastic containers so I can dip my brush in and I don't have to worry about tinting my whole entire bottle. Now I grab my crystal gel. I believe, I don't remember where I got this from. I think I got it from Blitzy or something like that, so it's has the, I believe, German spelling for it. Use a palette knife and kind of place the gel around the bandana. And then again use a catalyst tool or a comb to kind of give that gel some hair texture. And here the piece is all, when everything's all said and done. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like and subscribe, and as always, I appreciate constructive criticism in the comments below. Thank you and have a great day and happy arting!